ready for this intro?
Hell yeah.
Hello, welcome to a Fish and Flower podcast. I'm Flower, aka Rose. And this intro is, or my fun fact is, what if, I know I brought up to you before we started recording today, but what if I just rewatch all of H2O just out of
If you do, I want to watch it with you because we should watch all this stuff, and then you watch it without me. Like, what the fuck?
I'm sorry, I watch everything at like 3 times speed, except for Twin Peaks. God, I have to watch it at like 1.25 times speed, because otherwise, even that fast, I'm just like, what the fuck? Am I missing something? Constantly. God, also, just that show. But H2O Just Add Water in America is free on Sling TV.
What the fuck is Sling? Like, I've heard of it, but still, what the fuck?
It's like a free, cable type thing. But they have all 3 seasons there, and I did test it out before we recorded, and, like, it plays an ad in the beginning, but, like, you have the full episode right there, like, from episode 1, for the whole entire show. If I did that, it would take over my whole personality, and I already know something similar is going to happen, because this is being recorded the day before Bridgerton Season 3
Listen,
Part 1 comes out, and I don't have time to be taken over by both of those.
H2O is so fancy. I don't care.
It is. Alright,
I don't even really say that, so I must be so serial about it if I'm saying it's fancy.
You know what's
I
also
feel like a lot
really
of people would
funny?
agree.
2 of the main actors for it are in the Vampire Diaries TV universe.
One of the blonde ones, right?
Both Cleo and Emma. And they're both
But
main characters in the originals. I never finished the originals, despite the fact that, like, I really love the originals. I've watched season 1 like a dozen times. Anyways, to your intro, we don't need to talk about my weird TV watching habits.
yeah, you watch a lot of TV actually.
I know.
I don't.
We don't need to talk about how much Criminal Minds I've watched in the past week.
Anyways, my name is Fish, aka Stingray. I'll send you the sparkles. That's the fun fact. I forgot the fucking sparkles.
Versus Sparkles by thumbnail, you bitch. How could you?
That's why I put the star emojis and sparkle emojis.
I was confused why there were star emojis. I was like, there's no stars in this thumbnail. Despite the fact that that's been a theme for my channel recently, there is no stars.
I like stars. Did you notice?
Yeah. Anyways, this is a stream of conscious
Oh my
podcast.
god, I just didn't save. That's so fish phobic. Hold the fuck on.
I love fish phobic just being a phrase now.
I don't listen.
This is a stream of conscious podcast, very similar to how we talk to each other on a daily basis. In today's episode, we're talking about the third Touch of Taboo book by Katee Robert. I almost said their name wrong. Yes, if you're listening to these episodes back to back, I just did say there. Meanwhile, the second one, I said she. Just realized in between recording, they changed their pronouns order from she/they to they/she. So we love that for Katee Robert.
Emails. What the fuck are these emails doing? Oh my god, what the fuck?
Just you in the background.
I'm sorry.
This one is
There. You
my
got your
dad's
fucking
best
sparkles.
friend, which is the one where the character has a relationship with her dad's best friend. Wow. Anyways, there's
This
like
is so chaotic.
there's 2 previous episodes about the first 2 books of the series. Not important. They are not interconnected in any way. The first one is really fucking funny, and they're all kind of short. So good.
That means you can actually listen to these because they're not excessively long.
And also, I'm trying my hardest. I didn't even ask you last one how many pages of notes do you think I took? How many pages of notes do you think I took?
1.5.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure I told you.
Girl, I don't know.
Anyways, there is a 4th book in the series. Obviously that's not going to happen for a bit because other plans, because, Pride Month and other things.
Yay!
The heroine of the 4th one is very queer. She talks about her girlfriends a lot.
Oh my god.
But
are we gonna record it beforehand though?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
I've already read it. Don't worry about it. That one isn't scheduled for the 9th of August. is when it's scheduled for. So
Who knows though? With us,
true. Honestly, the way I move things around. Okay.
yeah, because you love me.
Yes. Content warnings. I gotta do that first. Sexual content, cursing, and then it says sexual assault. I don't remember that scene.
Um,
I remember that scene in the fourth one, but I don't remember it in this one.
that's concerning.
I'm confused. I literally saw that when I pulled it up, and I went, "Wait, what? Did I miss something? I don't think I did." This one, I again, I count the number of orgasms in everyone but the first one, because that one was like me reading it and then 5 seconds later recording it, right? Uh, so this one follows Blake is her name, who has, my notes say, 20 orgasms plus the countless times he got her off as a quote unquote goodbye. And he has 13. His name is Jonas, and he has 13. And I'm really questioning because this takes place in under 48 hours, and I'm pretty sure, I'm not an expert, but I don't think that's how penises work. I am. That thing must be
Neither am
raw.
I'm definitely. You're more of an expert than I am. But I don't think that's how it
red
works.
and raw and like painful for days. Like have to wear loose pants. Like God.
You lay in bed and stare at the ceiling and don't touch anything.
Yeah. So 6 years ago at a family Christmas party, I'd like I'm giving you all the background information for the most part in the very beginning. It doesn't add this until like a third of the way through or something like that. But 6 years ago at a family Christmas party when Blake was 22, she admitted her attraction to Jonas. Jonas and her father are best friends, obviously from the title, my dad's best friend. But they were also business partners. Jonas is an interior decorator of some kind. Uh,
I'm sorry, men who are interior decorators. I'm sorry to be like stereotyping, but that's fruity. I don't care.
Jonas ended up leaving because he didn't like the politicking, I guess, of it. That's how it was described, and I was just very confused. I guess it was a lot of rich customers who like didn't care about, like they would pay exorbitant amount of monies just to have Jonas design their houses, but then wouldn't take his designs and would be like, okay, like would this thing look better here? Blah, blah, blah. But no, we need to have this one specific thing. Which is like against what his designs were or something like that, and he hated that, so he just ended up leaving. 6 months ago, Blake's father retired, and she's now running the family business. But everything seems to be going wrong, and she's about to lose the business.
Oh God.
But don't worry, I have thoughts and opinions about this. There's a higher power client who like is willing to pay like millions for Jonas's designs, and so that is why she's at his house in Seattle in the pouring rain. Yeah,
Okay,
he's been like definitely avoiding her since that Christmas party 6 years ago, and so she's been like trying to call him to be like, hey, come back, do this one job, but he like keeps on avoiding her calls. So she just did like an overnight flight to Seattle, and is at his house in the middle of the night while it's downpouring to ask him to come back just this once. Yeah. So he answers the door. It's also cold out, so she's soaking wet and it's freezing cold. So he lets her in and gives her a shirt to change into. There's this whole scene where she's like trying to decide, because like she's soaked all the way through. It's downpouring, and so her undergarments are a little damp. And the idea of wearing a little bit damp of undergarments underneath this large men's shirt, and that's it. No bottoms or anything, just that shirt. But being in slightly damp undergarments is more uncomfortable to her. The idea of that is more uncomfortable to her than the idea of literally walking around in nothing but a shirt.
What in the things we had for the light?
I know, right? I'm like, girl. Like, she has no underwear on, no bra, just walking around in a shirt through his house. sitting in his seats with nothing between those cheeks and that seat. Like,
I'm sorry, you're putting your bare ass cooch on this random stranger shit. That's ugh.
yeah,
Ugh.
to quote me, so she's basically sitting in his kitchen naked, asking him to come back for this one job. He turns her down.
I mean, basically, she shouldn't be wearing wet underwear anyways, but so
yes.
I get it.
I would also like to know she does have like clean, dry clothes in her car.
What the fuck?
Wasn't gonna bring it up, but she brings up the Christmas party. He says she was a child. When she tries to be like, hey, it's been 6 years. You still don't want a bang-a-lang?
Oh my god.
He turns her down, says she was just a child, even though she was 22. So she goes to leave for obvious reasons, still in only a shirt, leaving behind her really nice shoes. She's like, I gotta go. But oh no, there's a weather warning. All flights and ferries have been grounded, and she's stuck there. And also, there's only one bed.
Oh my
I'm
god.
laughing into my arm. So since she can't escape to her car or outside, he does go out to her car and get her like clothes and everything for her, right? But since she can't do that, and all the hotel rooms are all booked and blah blah blah. I don't remember why.
I'm not sure she looked hard enough she could find some, but go off, I guess.
He's like, it's a waste of money. Take my room. I'll just sleep on the couch. She's like, what the fuck? So instead she escapes to his room and almost immediately starts having solo time in his bed.
What the fuck?
When he comes to get his toothbrush, so he just walks into the room as she's just in his bed.
How do we not?
And the sight pushes him over the edge. So now they're getting each other off. Also, quote my notes, should have guessed the daddy kink again.
Oh my god.
Afterwards, they decide to sit and talk about everything. I will give Jonas this. His communicating about everything, especially when it comes to consent, is a big deal for him. I did find that hot. There is another part with sexism that I didn't find hot, and I really hated him from that point on. But up until that point, I found him really hot because of this.
Okay.
So she's stuck there, and they've already gone this far, so they decide to do whatever for the weekend until the storm is over. Literally, not 48 hours. It is, I think, Friday night. They are stuck together all Saturday, and she's gone before noon Sunday.
Do they sleep at all?
Yes, multiple times.
It's probably like 20-minute power nap.
Dude, no, it's like deep sleeps and whatnot.
Oh my god. I'm gonna like this makes sense.
They have a safe sex talk that includes hard lines, which is a thing he's very adamant about. He's like, do you have any hard lines? She's like, no, and he's all like, no, like, think of some, because everyone does. And she brings up like blood play and bestiality.
Valid.
Yeah. But also STDs, which I know is a thing Katee Robert makes a big deal about putting in their books. Which I'm bringing this up because I have seen, because I follow Katee Roberts on Threads. I talk about this a lot. But apparently, fans have come up and like our messaged them being all like complaining about the fact that they tend to put like page-long scenes where they're like having safe sex conversations in almost all their books, and people are like, why would you do that? And they're like, because it's an important conversation. If you're gonna have a sex marathon with someone, I feel like it's an important conversation to have with that person, right? Like about like birth control and condoms and STD tests and consent, important things. Like, makes sense. They've also talked about how people, if a character has pronouns that are something /they, people will complain about that. and misgender them.
Go on somewhere.
Apparently, it's a thing where the most recent one, there's like a demon or succubus that is very similar to the demon in the Wicked Bargain, where gender switching is very common, right? And apparently, no one's had an issue with it yet. And Katee Robert is like, God, I love my audience sometimes, because no one's coming up to Katee Robert being like. Apparently, they've also had editors who've had like would change characters' pronouns halfway through the book because that character feels like a they that day. And that editor would like change it to she.
Hear me out. I feel like it makes sense if you have a character that's like a demon of some sort for them to not have like a traditional gender because they're not a traditional being.
Listen, this is the same book series that has the dragon with 2 dicks, so you know.
Like it doesn't make sense.
Can't wait till I talk about it on this podcast someday.
Oh my god.
Anyways, one of the parts of the conversation is also her bringing up the fact that them having sex for this weekend has nothing to do with business. That's not how she wants to do business. It's just them having fun. Right. Good point. And Jonas is adamant about her father not learning about this, and she brings up the great point that she doesn't talk about her sex life with her dad. And Jonas is like, valid. But also it's hinted at that her dad would hype up how great a guy Jonas is, and it's giving he wants them together. And Jonas is in his 40s and a good 20 plus years younger than her dad.
Okay.
Like her dad's in his 60s, Jonas is in his 40s, and she's in her 20s. And he's all like multiple times he'd be like, Jonas would just like make a great boyfriend or husband to somebody, cough cough, daughter of mine. Blake is confirmed bisexual or pan. I feel like that's like most of the women in this series. Which I love for me personally. This is a representation I need.
I'm so...
Okay, so they're like role-playing the Christmas party, if they'd gone for it. I make the note that they haven't kissed yet, and then 5 seconds later they kiss, and it's 40% into the book. They bang some more. A lot of the fantasies, like, what if, like, when I kissed you, you actually, like, continue it, and, like, pretending, like, what if anyone could come in at any moment, and then later on, it's very much like, afterwards, he goes up into her room, and, getting her off in her bed, in her parents' house, right, 2 doors away type thing. You know, the vibe.
No, I don't know the vibe, Betsy, but okay.
They bang some more, and they go to bed. I'm sorry, you don't... I'm just moving on. Hear me out. The hottest thing about this book is how much Jonas cares about consent. I've already brought this up, but it's multiple times he, like, brings up consent. It's really important to him. Good times. She wakes up to him getting her off. Oh, it's like a thing. It is a thing. Is this where the sexual assault? I think this may be the sexual assault, but it is a blatantly thing where he mentions before they go to bed, hey, I like to wake up a woman, but going downtown, if you know what I mean.
Why can't you be normal? Why can't you just say normal things?
I don't know why. And then she agrees to that. She agrees that she would like that, and so that is how she wakes up. She wakes up to him eating her out.
Then that's not it. But it's still, if they talked about it, then
so,
that's
like they talk about it, and he gets consent beforehand, but like it could be.
That's how that situation works.
Saying because like she is technically asleep when he's getting her off, but like I don't fucking know. So she wakes up to that, and she is getting repeated calls from a guy she went on 2 dates with and won't take a no as an answer. Maybe that's the guy. Maybe that's why.
Oh my god.
Anyways, oh god, Jonas gets the idea to bang-a-ling loudly when she picks up.
Oh my god.
That's basically that whole scene. She picks up the phone afterwards they're done and is like, he hung up. What a shame.
It's a little funny. It's a little funny. Okay.
He cooks her a casserole.
Not a casserole.
I know, right? I wrote it down. I mean, I guess he's a man in his 40s.
A
He's my dream
casserole?
housewife.
At least he knows how to cook more than like a grilled cheese, I guess.
True, more than
I'll
hamburgers
give
on
him
a
that.
grill. There's this new fantasy, so he has the same exact desk that her father has. And so they play that fantasy, multiple fantasies in his office. I think the first one is like her going into his office and wanting to get something from her father's desk. And he's comes in and sees her in like a tight outfit. And they bang on the desk in view from the street.
Uh-huh.
Another one later on is like she comes down wearing nothing but like a see-through robe, right? And she's like pretending she's like 18, getting a buck from her father's office while he's there.
Oh.
You can see where that goes. They talk about
Yeah.
business as they eat, and oh God. God, this is the scene where I start hating him. So they're talking business for some reason. She's like, I don't want to talk business, right? But he forces her to talk about it, and he's like, why is the business failing? And she talks about how most of the customers, a good chunk of the customers, left after she took over because they didn't want to have a woman in charge. That is why.
What the fuck?
And he tells her more than one occasion, very bluntly, like at least 3 times in the same page, that's her own fault.
I'm sorry. What?
And then he's all like, well, maybe if you stop trying to run the business like your father, and like it's very much like giving like he's all like, hey, stop running the business like your father, stop chasing after these customers. So like, valid, stop chasing after the customers who left you. I wrote down the quote because you're, and I quote, a little girl. Is the phrasing is used in the book that people have given reason for leaving the company, right? Because she's a little girl. She's 28. And someone who has been raised to be the heir of this company for years. Like, she's been raised by her father, conditioned by her father for years to have this position, trained by her father. Like, right? Obviously, the reason is sexism. And he's all like, stop chasing off these customers. Valid. They already left. Don't chase after them. Try to get new customers. But he's all like, maybe if you stop being like your father and more like yourself, then maybe it wouldn't be an issue.
I understand where he's coming from, but maybe like deliver it differently. I
And
don't
she's
know.
all like, it hurts me, but I like how honest he is with me. And I'm just like, listen, the fact that you have no income because sexism does not is not your fault. Like, you should not have to change how you do business because of this. Like, no, the issue is on their fault. And the only thing I notice that you should change is that if someone leaves a contract for whatever reasons to do with her being in charge, then they have to pay a fine or something. Right? Like,
Valid.
that's the only thing I'm noticing that you should change. Like, girl.
I keep forgetting to take my vitamins.
How dare you? Anyways,
You don't
moving
even
on
take
from
any
that.
of the medication ever that you're supposed to take. So why are you getting on to me about not taking my vitamins?
Shut up. Anyways, moving on, from the fact that I now hate Jonas. He admits he's been wanting her as long as she's been wanting him.
Oh my god.
There's like a thing where apparently her father talks about her chocolate chip cookies a lot, so Jonas requests so she
Oh my god.
bakes while wearing only an apron.
That's so weird. I'm sorry.
Anyways, it doesn't go far. It goes like maybe 20 minutes before they're bang-a-langing in the kitchen, so. Oh, she admits a fantasy of him chasing her. They acted out. I think that's the time in the office where she's like wearing basically nothing and she's pretending like she's 18 and getting a book and he's chasing her around the office.
That's kind of real.
Um, they go to Bone Town another time before sleepy time. And it's all melancholy because the storm is over. So their sex weekend is over. Oh no. Uh, they bang one more
Boo-hoo.
time before she leaves. She does get a different designer for the clients, and it's been 6 days. When Jonas walks into her office, actually, I really like you. You want a date? And they bang twice in her public office. Her public, it's like described as like after 5 p.m. So there's probably no one else in the office. But still,
Is the door at least closed? Sorry, I'm restricting water. Is the door at least closed? Like,
yes, the door is closed, and he does lock it.
okay.
But still, noises are a thing.
Oh my
Anyways,
lord.
they go back to her apartment. They bang some more. I guess they're dating now. The end.
Oh god. Finally.
Also a note from me from the end after thinking about this book, there is no declarations of I love you in this one. It's more of a I'm falling for you in the end and let's see where this goes. Which I found interesting in comparison to the rest of the series, because the rest of the series is very much like mid pump, I love you.
Yeah.
Anyways, this isn't even my least favorite. The fourth one is my least favorite. I feel like I should mention this. Anyways, I think Jonas should go to a doctor because there's no way his dick should be up that much.
I think everybody in this fucking series needs to go to a doctor.
True. The amount of gynecologist visits happening from the female main characters.
That, and then I think they all need to be institutionalized.
I'm sorry. You you think the whole, do you think he'll call me mom now? Is reason to be institutionalized? No, that is comedy gold.
You hear that noise? You hear that noise? It's the Looney Bin coming to take them out away. It's gonna take me too, don't worry.
Alright, do you have any other thoughts about this book?
No.
This one is slightly longer than the last one.
LOL.
I don't like this one. I don't know if you can tell. I really like it up until that point where he's all like, listen, the sexism isn't a big deal. You should totally just blame yourself for trying to do business like your father, you know, the man who taught you how to do business.
Well, obviously boo sexism, but like, I feel like part of that makes sense only in the fact that she's not gonna run exactly like her father.
Yeah, no, the way he describes it is like, he describes it better at a different point. Like, I think even before this, where he was talking about how she's better with the customers than he ever was, and even from her father, because she like understands how to talk to them in a certain way, like a real person, not like as running a business, but like as a real person, and so is able to get a better idea of what the customers want because of that.
Yeah.
And so like it very much gives, that's what he's trying to tell her to do, like just do it like that, not like the way like she has to be exactly like her father. But it's given more it's your own damn fault. Ignore racism and just do better.
I
Or not
don't
racism,
know.
sexism. Ignore sexism and do better. And you
I
know,
don't.
I respect him 0% after that. Don't worry, he's not the worst hero, because the fourth book is a thing. The fourth
That's
book is
the
a
Guardian
fever
one,
dream.
right?
Alright, ready to close this one off. You can say no again. Ready to, I don't know what to say. Say something for
I
me
don't
to
know
end the
what's
episode
happening.
on.
No. What?
Thank you.